So here we have did the function declaration. So this is a function declaration, function get text, and we are doing the console.log of hello world we are doing, but here we are doing console.log of get text. Okay, so here the value we are trying to console.log of the value. Okay, we are trying to get the console.log of value. The value is nothing but it is returning nothing, so that means undefined. So we are able to get the undefined. When we are trying to check the type of get text means, so we are trying to check the type return value of this type. So the return value of this type is undefined, so the data type for this one is also undefined, but here we are trying to print the hello world. So whereas I want to so here, okay, the another type of declaration also we can make it function. We can also use another type of declaration also, that is nothing but where get text is equal to function. So we can also assign the function to a variable also. So now we are assigning a function to a variable. Now let's try to see this variable data type. What is this variable data type? So if I try to check this variable data type get text, so now if you check this one, the variable data type of this one is a function. Okay, so this is a function. So we can use like this, or otherwise another declaration we can use it is something like function get text. Like this also you can use it. So these are both are one and the same only. Okay, so both are one and the same only. So like this also you can call it. If you declare it in a variable, you can also call like this parenthesis, so that you are calling that function, and here you are checking the function. So this is about the basic introduction of the function. And also if you want to return a value, instead of writing here, so I can return hello world here. So this is how we will be returning a value. So this is how we will be returning a value, get text return hello world, and here we are having console.log of get text. Now if you try to see the output, so now here you will be able to get hello world, and the return type of value of this one type we need to check means, so we can get this one as string. So this is how we will be writing. So I will try to show you another one, the function. So let's say that we are having a function add, and here we are taking two variables, num comma 2 and num comma 1 comma 2, and here I will be using console.log num1 plus num2. Okay, sorry, I will be returning this value. We already learned about return, right? So I can do it like this. So now if I want to pass variables to this one, so here I can pass arguments to this one also. So now I want to do 1 comma 2, and I can store it in one variable where result is equal to. So here the return type of this value will be saved in this result. Now if I try to see console.log of result, now if I see the output, so we are able to get the 3 as an output. So now the result is nothing but the return value of this one. So if you want to check that where sum is equal to add, you can also, this one is add is nothing but a variable only, so you can add this one to another variable. Now this type of this sum is function, it will be function. Why? Because we are adding a function, right? Function to this one. So sum is function. If you try to see here, this one is function. Now what I can do, instead of calling this one, I can call sum also. Why? Because I have assigned that function to the sum variable. Now if you try to see the output, so then also you'll be able to see this one 3 comma 3 output. If I pass some extra arguments here, 3 comma 4 comma something like that, so those all will be skipped. So nothing will happen, those all will be skipped, and you will be able to get only the single output. So this is the basic introduction of this JavaScript functions. Okay, so declaring a function, returning the value, and the checking the type of the function. Type of the data type of this function is nothing but a function only. These are all the things. So let's move on to the another one. These are all basic introduction of the JavaScript. In all programming languages also you will have like this only. So go slowly, we will, after completing this one, we will go on to the deeper concepts. Let's say if statement. So how we can write this if statement in the JavaScript? I am having a condition. Okay, so this one is true. Okay, so let's say that I am having a condition, this one is true. So now what I want to write it is if condition is equal to true, then what I can do, console.log condition is true, I can say it. Okay, else condition is false, I can write. So like this we will be writing the if else in the JavaScript. So a basic thing only. So in all JavaScript also you can use it like this. So if I try to see the output, we are able to get that condition is true. So instead of writing this one, we can also write like this also, if condition. So that means we can able to check that if this one is a boolean value of true, then we can check this output. Like this also we can write it. Okay, condition is true, like this we can write. And for example, we can say that if I am using condition is equal to null. So now if I am using null means then which one will execute here? So let's try to see it. So here it is executing condition is false. So here null means it is a false thing. So condition means it will always take true as this one. So now let's say that 1. If I take this one, so what will be the output for this one? So can anybody tell me?
Condition is true, sir.
So condition is true. So for example, let's say that here I will try to do 1 is equal to true or not. So what could be the output here?
False.
So this one will be a false. So what is that output we are getting? So if it is true only, it will enter into this one, right? So can anybody tell me why this is true? 1 is equal to true. It is not same, right? Both are not same. So here you need to understand that. So if you try to check with the triple equal to, so then we are checking with the data type along with its value. In Boolean, you can say that true is always equal to 1 and false is equal to 0 by value nature, not by the data type nature. Okay. So this is one thing. For example, let's say that I have given condition is equal to 2. So now what will happen here?
False.
No, it will not enter into the false. So here I have told you, right? So here nothing but what I can say is okay, so I will try to tell you console.log 1 is equal to true. Okay, so okay, you will get confused. I think mine is all mistake. I have confused you. So console.log 1 is equal to true means it is true only. Why? Because I told you that true is, but I cannot say that 2 is equal to true. So this one will be true? No. Why? Because true is always equal to 1. I have told you by value nature, true is equal to 1, but it is not 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, so it is 1 only. Now here false. False means it is 0, not -1 or something like that. But if I try to check with one triple equal to, then you will get a false only. Then also, why? Because it is trying to check with this one. So these are all the mistakes we are getting. So we are trying to check with the data type also. This one never becomes this one. Whereas here in this condition, it is checking that it is not 0. Okay, not 0 or false. Okay, so it is not 0 or false. For example, if I write here, if it is equal to 0 means this is nothing but a false only. Okay, this is nothing but a false. Then it will go into the else condition. Okay, or otherwise if I tell into the false condition, so it will check that whether it is 0 or false or not. Okay, it is not 0. 0 means it's nothing but a false condition. Then also it will go into the false condition. But here I have written a 2. So that means it is not a 0 and not a false. Then it will take it as a true only. So then it will go into the true condition. Whereas null is nothing but a false nature. Null and undefined is nothing but a false nature only. So these are special thing, right? So these are false natures. You understood about this one, how the if condition works?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So don't think that 2 or 3 or something like that will go into the else condition. It will not go. It will go into the true condition only. Okay. Why? Because it will check that whether it is a 0 or false, it will try to check. So or other null also comes into a false condition only. Undefined also comes into a false condition only. Okay. So other than these things, everything will goes into a true condition only. For example, if I am giving some value here, empty value, empty also comes into this false condition only. Okay. Okay. If I try to see here, then also it goes into the false condition. Okay. Or otherwise, if I am giving some space here and some space, then it goes into true condition. So like this you will be having. So empty, undefined, null, false or 0, these all this condition will true. So for example, I want to check only with a null condition, means you need to give something like null here. If condition is equal to null, so then only it will be having. So if I try to give space also, then also it will go into the false condition only. If I try to give here false also, it will not take this one all. It will try to check the exact condition, that is nothing but null condition. So like this. So if you are confused with the like this means, so you can use the exact condition, if is equal to empty or something like that. Okay, so this is all about the if condition, how the if condition behaves. And also if you want to give nested if condition also, you can say that else if condition is equal to empty. Okay, so empty is there. If condition, okay, it's false, then I will try to check that else if condition is equal to empty. If I try to check is equal to empty, then condition is empty, and I can write else condition console.log condition is false or something like this. I can write it at the bottom. So now if I give an empty means, then I will be able to get that one condition is empty. So this one, it has entered into this condition. So this is nothing but an if else condition. Okay, nested if condition also, you people know about this one. Nested if condition, if or something like that. In your BTech you already learned about these all things. I am not trying to repeat these all things, so but I am trying to tell you the syntax, how the JavaScript behaves. So this is all about the if statement, how we will be using this if statement in the JavaScript. So that also if else condition, and also the simple if condition also I have shown you. Let's go on to the another one which you already know, that is nothing but a switch condition. So you people know about the switch statement, not condition will say, statement will used to say.
Yes, sir.
So all people know about the switch statement.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let's try to have simple example where number is equal to 1 we are having. Okay, number is equal to 3 we will have. So I will give the switch statement. So we can have this number, and in this one we will be having a case, and I can write case 1. I can write it here, console.log of number is 1. Number is 1, and I can have case 2, console.log number is 2. Okay, and I will be having case 3, and I will be having case 3, console.log number is 3. Okay, and last one what we can have, can anybody tell me? So if none of the condition matches, somebody is saying if, I don't know. So default console.log, so number is nothing or something like this we can say. Okay, so now for example I have given number is equal to 2. So then what could be the output here?
3.
So fine, so 2 3 nothing we will be able to get. The output what you people said is correct. So here we have matched it with only the 2, but here we are able to get 2 3 and nothing. Can anybody tell me, so why is it happening like that?
3.
No, why it is happening like that, I want to know.
It isn't breaking, it's continuing the execution. It's entering from 2 and 3.
So now what will happen is here, so one, when I have given number is equal to 2, first it will check that case 1. Okay, so 1 is matching with the 2 or not. Okay, it is not matching, so it will go to the case 2. So when this case 2 is matching or not, 2 is equal to 2, it is matching or not, it will check. If it is matching, then whatever the logic here is there inside this case, it will try to print it. So console.log number is 2. Now the condition has been matched. So from next onwards, it will not check the condition and all those things. So it will go on, print the values, whatever all is there in the cases. So because of that reason, so 1 is not printed. Why? Because it has not been matched. When the 2 is matched, immediately from 2 onwards, it will try to print all the values. So that is why we are able to get number is 2, number is 3, number is nothing. If I try to give here 1, then first only it is matching, then it will give 1 2 3 nothing, up to there it will try to print it. Okay, so this is the thing. So now in order to overcome this one, so what I can do here is we can give a break here. So for all the things we need to give the break. Okay, so this is the break. So now if I try to see here, only the 1 will be printed, and here if I try to give 3, only the 3 will be printed. So if I try to give 10 value, which is not present here in this one, it will try to go to the default value. Default value means if none of the cases are matching means, then it will directly go to the default value. If I try to print run, number is nothing. So like this we are able to get it. So this is about the switch statement. Alternatively, what you can do is, instead of implementing the switch statement, you can use the if else statement. Okay, so this is how, this is what so this is how we will be writing this switch statement. So let's go on to the another thing, that is nothing but a for loop. So for loop, can anybody know about the syntax of this for loop? Can anybody tell me? So I want to print values from 1 to 10. Okay, tell me the for loop. So from 0 to 10 I will get the output, right? So I am asking you to print 1 to so try to read that question properly, going and immediately saying that output for me. So now what I need to do, for loop, the syntax is fine. So all the people know about the for loop, I am assuming. In JavaScript, how we will write, I will try to explain you. For where I is equal to 1, okay, I less than, so these are all less than operators, these are all things you people know. I less than or equal to 10. Okay, from 1 to 10 I want to print it, right? So I less than or equal to 10, semicolon we need to give, and I can give I plus plus. So here I can print console.log of I. Console.log of I. Okay, now if you try to see the output, we will be able to print the values 1 to 10. So now what I want to do is, so when the I reaches the 5, I need to stop looping over this one. So how can I write the condition? So for example, if I is equal to 5, okay, or otherwise if I is greater than or equal to 5 or something like that. So I need to stop over the link loop. So stop the loop, I need to say. So we need to give the break. So here we need to give the break condition. Okay, so break means automatically it will break from the loop. So this is one thing you need to understand. For example, let's say that I am having a for loop. Okay, I am having a for loop. Just I will try to write. So just tell me what could be the output here. For where I is equal to 0, let's assume. For where I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus I am using. Okay, and again I am using another for loop for where j is equal to 0, j less than 2, j plus plus I will be using. So I want to print console.log of j, and I want to print console.log of I. Okay, if I is equal to 1, then you should break it. Okay, so this one is ending here, so I will break this one also, and I will try to do console.log j value. Okay, so can anybody tell me what could be the value of the output of this one? So debug, just debug and tell me. So just to anybody. So for example, let's say that let's try to debug it one by one. I will only debug it. Let's try to see. First where I is I is equal to 0. Okay, I is 0. Now it went into the inner loop. So now here j is 0. Okay, j is 0. So here I am trying to print the j0 and I1. So that means the output will be first 0 and 0 it will be. That's only right. J is equal to 0 and I equal to 0. Now I is equal to 1. So is I is equal to 1? It's not at all. So now it will not go into the break. Then it will go on to the again another loop. So now j will become 1. So 1 less than or equal to is true. Okay, and now it will try to print the j value. J value this time it is 1. And again it tries to print the I value. I value is still 0 only. So I value is still 0 only. So it will try to print the 0. Now if I am trying to check here, I is equal to 1 or not. Is I is equal to 1? No, I is still 0 only, right? So then it will try to go to the loop again. So j will become 2. J less than 2 means, yes, j is not less than 2, it is equal to 2. So that means the condition is met. So it will come out of this for loop. Okay. So now it has seen the break. In which break it has seen? It has seen the break in the outer loop. So that means it will come out of this loop automatically. So then the output will be right now 0 0 1 0 should be the output. So like this you need to execute it. Okay. So if I try to take here, if j is equal to 1 means, if I try to remove this one, then that output will be a different thing. So just same thing. So how I have debugged this one, so you can debug this one also. So break, if you use it in the inner loop, so it will break will break it from the inner loop only. It will not break the outer loop. Complete loop it will not break it. So whatever the loop you are having inside this one, it will break that inner loop only. Then afterwards the outer loop will be executing automatically. So this is one thing you need to understand it. Okay. So now this is about the for loop thing. And also in the for loop we have another thing, we have another concept also. So that is nothing but for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay. If I is greater than 5, ampersand, I is less than 7, so I want to continue. Okay. Or otherwise console.log I. So this is the output. So anybody know about this continue statement? What is this continue statement? What it will do?
This will not.
Fine, that's correct. So now here you will be having I0 value. So now what it will try to do is, so it will try to check the I0, I greater than 5, 0 is greater than 5 or not, it will try to check. Okay, not true. 0 is less than 7 or not. So here it is trying to check the condition, whether both the condition are matching or not. First one is itself is not matching. Then it will try to print the I value. So afterwards what it will try to do is, when this condition is met, okay, so when this condition is met means, so when IE becomes 6, so 6 is greater than 5, yes, correct. 6 is less than 7, yes, correct. So both are true. When it goes to the continue, okay, it has seen that continue, so that means I need to go back to the loop again. So it will think that I need to go back to the loop again instead of executing the below statements. So it will go back to the loop again and it will try to increment the value to the 6, and again it will try to check with the, it will again increment to the 7, and it will check with the 7 value. So 7 is greater than 5, yes, correct. 7 is less than 7, it's false. Then it will print the value. So that means only the 6 value will be skipping here inside this one. So if I try to print the value here, see, only the 6 value will be not printed, remaining all will be printed in this one. So this is about the continue statement. Continue statement means, if you want some of the statements in the for loop don't want to execute, means you can use the continue, but you don't want to complete the loop. So you want to you want to continue the loop. So then you can use the continue, so that the statements which are below the continue it will not execute, but the statements which are at the top it will execute. But when it sees the continue, again it will go to the loop and it will increment the value, it will do those things. So this is about the continue and the break statement. And the another one what I want to tell you is in the JavaScript, that is nothing but a while loop. So instead of using the for loop also, we can also use the while loop. So while I less than 10, okay, and here I can console.log of I. I can use the console.log of I, but here you need to do the incrementation also. So initialization, incrementation, and checking the condition, all those things you need to do by your own. So this is also one way of representing the looping thing. So the for loop, this is the while loop. So now if I want to execute this one, so I can able to get the 0 1 2 3 4 9. Using the for loop also we can do it, but using the while loop we have initialized it, we have checked the condition, and afterwards we are incrementing the variable. So this is also one thing. So any other loopings do you know? While condition. So other than these looping conditions, so you people learn about the do while. So what is the difference between while and do while?
In do while, at least once it is fixed.
Yeah.
Well, like first it will later the condition is checked in do while. Right? In beginning only it will check the condition.
Yeah, correct. So do same thing. The syntax also in the JavaScript is also one and the same only. Do console.log of I. Okay. So we'll do console.log of I, and here I can do this where is I is equal to 0, and here we need to check the condition while I less than 10 or something like this. Okay, and we need to do the I plus plus, or otherwise it will go into the infinite loop. So we need to do the semicolon here. So that's it. So this is also one of the situation. So what is the difference between while and do while is, as you told, is that at least once the condition will be executed. Afterwards it will check the condition. The statements will be executed first, then afterwards the condition will be executed. Whereas in the while loop, the condition will be checked once, and then only afterwards only it will try to execute the statements. So that is the difference between a while and the do while. So these are all different types of condition statements and also the looping statements which we will be using in the JavaScript. Just like in the C or C++ and Java, how we will be using in the JavaScript also, like this only it will be there. So this is all about this one all. We will close this session up to here. Tomorrow we will see what is the difference between primitive types, global scope, local scope. These are all the things. Array methods. What are the array methods involved? These are all things. So let's try to see.